an important thing to remember when you are parenting children that are in the middle of this toxic dynamic between your household and the other household, and the the vibration levels and the energy levels and the entire parenting aspects are probably night and day. So your children are going through and living in the middle of this like seesaw. They spend so many days in this environment, which is negative, low vibrations. It's not a lot of bonding time. A lot of things are forced out of fear. And then they come to the other house where things are a little lighter, a little more laid back. The parent wants to communicate them. The parent wants to know how they're feeling and what's going on with them and be involved on a level of more than just, giving them what they want, taking them where they want to go, and things along those levels. So imagine, put yourself in their shoes, and you're in, on this seesaw where your body is in constant flux between the negative household and where that reality is for them, and then your household and the energy levels and what that reality is for them. And somewhere in the middle of all that is your child trying to figure out who they are and where they fit into this world and what they want. And they can't even have a regulated environment in which they're trying to do this in. So their bodies are constantly in a state of stress. It's inevitable. Any child that is living in this limbo of constant changes in their safety surroundings, their body never is going to have a chance to fully regulate at all, whether it's on the higher vibration or the lower vibration. Their bodies are never getting this chance to really regulate because they're not in one place for long enough, which in the aspect of you don't want them getting used to this negative vibration environment. So that's a good thing. But at the same time, they're not able to fully regulate and integrate into the positive vibration environment that you are trying to create for them. So when you feel like your child's disconnected, your child is kind of just not, you can tell that they're not present, you want to be aware of that. But you don't want to hound them about it either. You want to give them grace if they mess up or they react to something really quickly, and give yourself grace at the same time. Like, you are still healing. You are still working through your own triggers from this negative environment. So their reaction can cause a reaction in you. And that's where you really have to start to become mindful of how you are reacting or communicating with your children. Are you being reactive? Or are you coming from a place of being conscious and aware of what they may be feeling and where they may be coming from and what it's feeling inside of you and how that's causing your own internal reactions and things to set off? And the last thing you want to do is take your own reactions that you're having and place them on this child who is already in a state of their own stress. So you want to be really mindful of your communication, but also give them that grace and give yourself the grace. Don't beat yourself up if you do react. Take your time, walk away, recenter yourself, come back to the situation and apologize and talk through what just happened. And if they overreact or they do something that's completely out of line or out of character or over the top, don't punish them. Don't snap back at them, because You want to give them the space to be able to express their feelings and express their frustrations or concerns or doubts in a safe environment and a secure environment. So if they do something that's completely out of line, of course you can comment and tell them that what they just did is not acceptable. But then let it rest. You can come back to it when the environment has calmed down and you've been able to process what happened and be able to come back to it from a place of understanding and support. And you feel that your child is maybe at a point where they're going to be more receptive and open to what you have to say to them. When children are in this heat of the moment, and when anybody's fight or flight system kicks on, your cognitive brain and your senses, per se, shut down. So you're not reacting from a place of logical or, being open-minded. You're reacting from a place of feeling like you have to defend yourself and you have to protect yourself. So whatever the other person is saying to this heightened person, and if you're both heightened, then you're both shut down. But any words that are going back and forth are not going to be heard or received in the way that they may be intended. So even if you are trying to come from a place of just trying to diffuse a situation and you're feeling unheard and like you're not getting through to them, find another way to safely and lovingly diffuse the situation without you getting louder, without you escalating the situation even more, because the words are not being heard. And if they are, they're not being heard in the way that they're supposed to be or that you intend for them to be. So you have to wait for the heightened person or your child to come out of this state of being in this protective mode, because only then can you truly have a conversation with them and open discussion about what happened and ways to try and fix it, because they're going to be open and receptive to hearing it. So you want to remember to just take that step back, give each party grace, because you are fully aware of the environment that they may be living on or that they're spending time on in part of their life. You're fully aware of the environment that you're trying to create for them and provide them. But you got to remember, they're in the middle of this. So their bodies are going like this. Their internal systems, their nervous system is doing the same thing. They have no regularity to even start to play with. So the more you're able to provide them as much as you can, that stable environment, the better off everybody's going to be.